Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons. We're back with episode 12 of Macross, SDF Macross. But first, we have some comments. Up first, we have Elios Quadruple Zero, I guess is how you want me to say that, from Macross's Hero, Bird Human. This is where I feel watching Zero after 7 makes more sense. 7 gets into more of protoculture background and whatnot, so it makes things in Zero seem a lot less of an ass pull. It is important you watch Do You Remember Love before anything that came after as sorry, they're using abbreviation, so I just had to put it in my head for a second. As Do You Remember Love is used as canon for everything after and Zero. And there are some changes that pretty big from the TV show. I can say this first up. I told them that we were doing Do You Remember Love after the main series, so.
Yeah. Actually, there's stuff in Do You Remember Love that kind of doesn't make sense unless you watch the series. It's a remake of, and within this, the fiction is a remake and a fictionalization of what's called Space War One, which is, like World War One. This is stuff like a big war. So there's stuff in there that you're like, okay, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? If you haven't watched the series, it doesn't make sense, even though they do make significant changes. So in a way, the movie is like when you take a video game and you remake it the way you really want to remake it, like 10 years later. Like, oh, we have the budget, we have the thing, so we're gonna put all the things we couldn't put in the original. It's kind of like that. It is gorgeous though. I mean, the animation is top notch for the time. So I hope you enjoy that because I'm looking forward to it.
This has 40 something episodes in it?
Macross, Do You Remember Love is a
No, no,
movie.
no, this. SDF
Oh, that's
Macross.
about 36 episodes, I think it has.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering how far we are from that then. Because I assume everything is going to be. Since we're watching this not in release order, I guess technically not everything has to push us ahead animation wise. Kind of like that when we started Gundam. We started Gundam with Origin, which is very recent, and then we went back to
Hmm.
1979. So,
Yeah.
and I'm watching a lot of 70s anime myself right now, so it's not really big on me to care about the animation style, so long as I understand the story. As long as the story is as in depth as it needs to be, I'm on board.
No, but I think it's more of they had the budget to make the movie, so they put it all in there to make sure that it looks very nice for the era. Yeah. So
Okay. Next up, we have Ushiga from Across Zero, Bird Human. Thank you for giving one of the three wild Macross series a look. The jet button was probably jettison. A little insight into Macross 7. Macross Plus was released from August 1994 to June of 1995, while Macross 7 ran from October 1994 to September of 1995. They had to make them quite different to justify having two series at once. Macross Plus being the grounded series and Macross 7 being the push it to the limit series. You could argue that more focus was put on Plus, making the start of 7 suffer a bit. I first saw the Macross 7 movie, takes place in later half of the series, and basically said, what the fuck is this? What did they do to Macross? And then didn't feel like starting the TV series for a few years. I eventually got around to it, got addicted to the music and silliness, and then saw the second half. That is where Macross 7 got to the same level and sometimes better than the original Macross. If you go into Macross 7 thinking of it as a fun little ride and slowly gets more and more serious, then you'll probably enjoy it more.
I mean, I think that's the reason why I didn't jump into my Cross Sevens. The one series I haven't seen, well, that and Delta, which is the last one has dropped. But
Okay.
that's you know,
Obviously, I have nothing to say on this. I've seen neither, or all of them so far. I've only completed one Macross series, and that's because it was 5 episodes. Okay. Also from Mushiga, from SDF Macross episode Booby Trap. Thanks again for giving Macross the time of day. A few clarifications slash corrections. Gundam came out in 79 and Macross in 82, so the intro song is only a 3-year difference instead of 15. By extension, the show is 40-ish years instead of 30 years old for you to know the tropes. Ares left Fokker to work under the Doctor. She was an old flame that showed back up in Zero, so it isn't quite correct saying her got over her. I guess it means he got over her in just a year. He moved on with his life the first time and then got over her a second time in just a year. Senpai and senpai are the same thing with just a different romanization spelling. I don't think we actually get an in-universe explanation for reactionary weaponry. It was a self-censoring like Battlestar Galactica's frack. Nuclear weaponry was still a taboo in Japan, or sorry, for Japan in the 1980s, since they experienced it firsthand. To prevent any angry complaints, they just swapped nuclear for reactionary.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think of all I've seen, basically reactionary is just tied to the alien tech, basically.
Well, I
It's
don't
like,
know
oh,
about
this
it.
is alien technology that makes very powerful weapons. That's it.
So I don't know about that if they're saying it's nuclear weaponry,
Well,
considering
I
we
mean,
have nuclear weaponry without the alien tech.
yeah, yeah, no, but I think that's the in-universe explanation, right? That nukes exist, but we don't mention them because we have these other things that are
Well,
much better.
remember, I think even in Zero they mention reactionary weaponry.
Yeah, the
With
missiles that
yeah, the missiles, and the missiles are literally just nuclear missiles. I mean, like I said, if they're self-censoring and those are just nukes, then I think they're just nukes. In which case, I'd be very confused why the Centrati are so interested in nuclear weaponry when they've got fold technology and massive space fleets and these weapons that just rip through our ships like nothing even matters. Why would you be so concerned about what has to be a step backwards in tech? Which is last episode, we watched them rip a planet apart.
yeah. I mean, they kind of boil the atmosphere and everything that was liquid up on the surface. So yeah,
I mean,
pretty much killed it.
unless they're pulling a God, what movie is it? Uh, it oh God, I can't even remember the three-word phrase I'm trying to remember. Klaatu Barada Nikto? What movie is that?
Well, it depends. Are you talking about when the Earth stood
They
still,
are stood
or
still. Yeah, I know. I'm not
okay?
talking about the Nick Cage one. Um,
No.
I guess I should say Nicolas Cage because the realization hits me that Nick Cage is a comedian, right? There's a guy called Nick Cage, and he's not Nicolas Cage. My point being, unless they're pulling a the day the Earth stood still, and their concern is anybody with nuclear weapons, because they one can destroy yourselves. Obviously, not what they're concerned about because they're threatening to kill us, or they're worried about, as they said, the galaxy is full of strife constantly. If they're worried about just another actor on the field with a mass destruction weapon.
Possibly. I think it's more an indicator of level of technology, right? Which is kind of also what happens in the day the Earth stood still. It's like, oh, we have to stop you from destroying yourselves because you have discovered nuclear weapons. So we came in peace and all that. And when I think of that phrase, I don't think of that phrase because of that movie, which I've seen, and it's pretty good for what it
Oh,
is.
you're thinking
Uh,
of Evil Dead?
Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness.
Yeah, yeah, Evil.
Which is well, it's the third movie in the Evil Dead trilogy. It's just called Army of Darkness
Yeah,
instead of
yeah, because he
Evil
can't
Dead.
remember the whole phrase. I said it basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, though that's all of our comments for today. So why don't you lead us through a recap? What happened last time?
Last time we had First Contact, episode 11. After being captured by the Centrati, Misa, Hikaru, and Kakisaki are interviewed questioned by the leaders of the Centrati, Britai, Exedol, and the Supreme Commander of all Centrati forces, which I'm going to try to say this word because it's based on Japanese and an alien and fantasy word, Gold Baudelaire Zer.
See, here's the
Basically, the
thing.
first, yeah,
Just to interrupt you real quick. They say a different name in the subtitles that we're watching than that name. And it's not
probably.
that they say a different name, they combine the things together. So he's like Bodelzer or Budolzer or whatever it is.
Bulldozer.
Yeah,
I think
we're
in the other version is Bulldozer, but
yeah,
I guess a Bulldozer would be the
because
way
I
you
was
might say it.
watching
Yeah.
to take my notes and everything that I took between the episodes, and I was like, I'm watching him, and then it's like, oh, that's right, that guy's here. I better add him to the board. And I go to look him up, and it's like, what the fuck is this name? That's not what they said.
And that makes the first time they speak in the same language between the two races. They discovered Centrati have no sense of culture and fear intimacy between men and women. Max genius, having been separated from the others, formulates a plan to rescue them by dressing up as a Centrati soldier that he ambushed in a toilet. Meanwhile, Minmay begins a singing career on them, which leads to Hikaru hallucinating or thinking about all the things that she was doing without him because she was being, a star and he was tracking his ship.
So you're saying that's a hallucination? Because
No,
the
not a
time
hallucination. I
that
think it is real. It's that he's thinking about it, and then we see her doing those things. So it's kind of unclear
well,
whether
no, because
that's his thought
it's the
or
time frame of it. Because
yeah,
we know that she's about to sing her debut song, and all of the things that you said were under the hallucination thing were
yeah,
all the lead up to the steps that she was taking to do her debut song. And
yeah,
then she has her own storyline where she's going through a he's not gonna be here. After Roy takes her aside and says Hikaru's gone missing. So
yeah,
there's that whole element of both him thinking about the his excitement for and now going to miss her debut performance, and remembering all the times he didn't get to see her
hmm,
beforehand because it's him calling, right? Like, no, I'm
yeah,
not gonna have any time to spend with you. I've got to rehearse. Or he wrote a song for me because it's in the same episode, I believe, as where
yeah,
she stands him up in the park to do a recording.
yeah. And also the song is my boyfriend is a pilot.
But she specifically says the song isn't about you. She
Yeah,
tells him
well,
that.
again, I'm thinking that they're kind of cross. Like she is fond of him, right? And shares his company as a friend and all that. Maybe finds him attractive and wants to have. She wants to have the sort of, oh, I'm a 16-year-old girl that has a boyfriend, right? Has sort of ticked that box that has a boyfriend. Now she can because she's an idol. And he wants a serious relationship, right? The way he sees is that we've gone through this stuff together. We're stuck 2 weeks down there. We had this connection. I'm in love with this girl, so I want to have a serious relationship, and I think that's kind of the difference between them, right? She does care for him. We clearly see that.
I think
Now
the
she's not
problem
complete.
is that she said this song isn't about you, and we know that
Yeah,
she literally spends all of her time with pilots. Not just Hikaru, like literally the Chinese bar is filled that bar, the Chinese restaurant is filled with the pilots. Like they're all talking about her all the time.
yeah, but I think that she doesn't write the song, so I think it's more of a morale booster kind of thing because everything in the town and city, everything that she's doing, it seems to be around the military and okay, this is you're gonna be. She is the pin-up starlet of Macross,
Yeah, Betty
essentially,
was
right?
her
She's
name.
like, yeah, so she's basically doing that role for them, right? This is like World War I or World War II, right? When you have pin-ups and stuff like that,
Well, that's what I
and
said.
that's her role.
Wish
Yeah,
I could remember her name. Betty something.
yeah,
If you
uh,
imagine the pinup girl that's on the side of the B-52 bombers, Betty Page. Betty Page.
mid page. Well, B-29s, B-52 would be later.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm trying to. I always think back to Night of the Shark, which is the bombing run movie, and they literally have it on the side of theirs, and I never remember. It's a B something. I'm not. You're the one who wanted to
B
be a pilot, not me.
B-24s, yeah, yeah, super,
Well, if you
Liberators and all
if
the things,
if you didn't want to be
A26s.
a
There's a
jet
bunch of them.
pilot,
Yeah.
if you didn't want to be a jet pilot like Lessons, and you want to be a bomber pilot, Night of the Shark is an amazing bomber movie. But
So that's our recap for chapter 11, episode 11. Now we go to episode 12, The Big Escape. But you have notes before we go
well,
into that?
before we do that, I've just dropped you that link, and I'm going to talk some slower so that you can log into that, just so we can go over relationship differences, since it was been 6 or so episodes since the last time that we've checked up on the board. and we kind of had to speed up through. There you go.
Okay. So
So,
let's focus on Macross
as Super
Super Dimension
Dimension
Fortress
Fortress
Macross.
Macross, yep.
Yeah.
2009 to 2012, and I think we're still in 2009. But yeah,
So
obviously, some people are dead. Zeril here, who charged his ship in and got super punched by a transformed Macross. I believe that was the episode Daedalus Attacks, specifically
it'll
because it
attack.
was the Daedalus that throws the punch,
Yep.
or is the punch. We obviously got Min May's aunt and uncle, because you know they run the restaurant, which I guess threw me that Lin is actually their surname in this
Yeah.
respect. Who else? We have Gold here, you know, the big guy in control, or I guess he is the supreme commander of, that memory serves, 118th Fleet.
Yeah. The fleet that they both the all the Centrati we've seen so far belong to.
Oh, I kind of assumed Kirindak here. Krindak had his own fleet, and he was just reporting to a superior who was higher up the chain than him.
No, he's the Supreme Commander.
Okay, well, we have, God, these names. Quamzin. I know he probably goes by the other name, but Quamzin is so much easier to say. Here, who has, of course, been attached to Krindak, and his little second in command, who during that episode, he's the one who gets the old timer who's about to get retired to fire the gun straight at the Macross. So I got thrown for a second because where I was at zoomed, your name on your bar here was right in the green line. It's like, did I take a note there? What was that?
Now, I
Uh,
would say you have a green line between, they'll say he's known as Bretai, or real, so I guess Bretai is the way it's basically said, and Kwamsin. I would put that as a little bit of conflict because clearly they don't like each other. Kwamsin's just doing his own thing.
the
So I think
problem
there might
is,
be
the problem
a
is with
yellow
this.
line.
I think it'd be white then. White would be questionable. I don't think we have
Yeah.
a yellow, do we? Do we have a yellow? This
No.
I forgot. Oh,
I think,
yellow is yellow is because remember up here in
oh, yeah, that's
zero.
people who migrate. Yeah, the people who
Yeah,
migrate
so
from
Roy
us, yes.
Fokker up here is Roy Fokker down here.
Yeah.
Well, my problem is that they clearly have sort of an antagonism, but their antagonism is to the same goal, right? We're both wanting to do the same thing. I'm fighting you over trying to accomplish the task that you've given me. He's not out to kill Krindak, right? He's not out to hurt his commander. He's just upset his commander won't let him win. So technically, I think that still makes them allies. Now, if this dude comes out and was like, fuck it, I'm done with your surrender commands, and opens fire on his ship, then I could see a red line. I don't think they're even close to being, like, antagonistic to that degree. What else? Oh, I guess to the note of your recap, Heyo over here, I believe when we saw their readouts on, like, simulator time and real world experience, that Heyo here is actually more experienced in the simulator and real world flying than Genius over here is. Like he's got more time and more real life piloting and more simulator time. I think the problem is that just Genius is more skilled because he's a genius.
Literally, yeah.
Otherwise, of course, attach them to the red line, uh, attached to Korean Deck because they got into a literally direct fight with him. So no longer is that red line between Global and Korean Deck because it's no longer just fleets fighting each other. Now they've literally gone hand to hand.
And Krendak won.
Yep.
Handily.
Well, as he said, he's built different. Usually you hear that in a different way these days, but Krendak has literally stated that he is built different from the rest of you. Let's see. Obviously, I added Ryber from the Mars episode flashback
Yeah.
because they were in love. He's obviously dead. What else? I put down Min May. I don't think I had the in love line between them, But even if, well, maybe I should make that one directional because it very much seems Hikaru is, but we're still questioning what Minmay is at. That if she
Yeah.
just wants friends or not. So maybe I should make that one dimensional at some point. And otherwise, attached Heyo, Heyo.
Yeah. Hayao.
I,
Hayao.
I've attached Heyo and Genius to the main green line that attaches all other members of the Macross crew together, since technically they're under Hikaru, and Hikaru is in that grouping as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remind me, Quamzin here literally did
Mhm.
get into a direct fight with Hikaru, right?
Yes.
All right,
They were, and then he got recalled again and had to flee. Yeah, but
that's why he has
yeah,
a direct line specifically to Hikaru. I believe they were facing each other directly. Otherwise, that's all the changes I've made. Any other
yep.
comments other than the Grindak and Quasum here? One?
No, I mean it fits so far what we've seen. I don't know. We're gonna see. Do we? Yeah, no. Jamis Marin. We see she was the character. Like, oh, I'm sure they're gonna introduce a character one episode, and yes, they did, just to have a rival with Lin Min May.
Yep, that's why it's a questionable line. Well,
Yeah,
she didn't actually declare like a flat out rivalry. She, obviously treated Mid May as a I don't care who this person is. That's why it's questionable. Mid May obviously cares about her. She's an idol. She doesn't give a shit. So,
yeah.
okay. Well, that's the board then. I do only have a couple of thoughts this time. Since Min May won the Miss Macross contest, that means that she owns the fan liner, which I'm certain has to be the remains of Hikaru's ruined plane, even if it does have an extra seat in it from before.
No, they mentioned the fact that it was designed and built in
They
Macross.
said it was built on the Macross, and that does not preclude the fact that they took the ruins of his old plane and made a new one out of it.
Well, I mean,
The fact it looks just like his old plane, but gold, is really kicking it in for me that, well, I don't think they just made a new plane with this design at a random. What? I mean, and Fokker knew it was down there. Unless we go back down into the pits, not the pits, unless we go back to the down below, I'm going to use the Babylon 5 wording here. Unless we go back down into down below and see it again, the fan
yeah.
liner is his old plane for me. Which would then, in my mind, imply that Min May owns his own plane. I just don't see it coming up again. That Min May is not going to pilot anything on her own, but she
Oh,
owns a plane. The Centrati that were sent to investigate the Miss Macross broadcast signal had to go back and report about strange feelings after having seen half-dressed women, and they make the guess that this might be some sort of new weapon. With the context we have now, sorry, with the context we now have that they don't have women aboard their ships, this is just more hilarious than it is mysterious at this point. It does remind me of an episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, though, specifically where both sides are on Earth, and by both sides I mean Zeon and the Earth Forces, the Earth Federation, and witness lightning during a storm for the first time, and think it must be a weapon from the other side. Normal, everyday things seeming to be alien weaponry is one of the funniest takes in shows like this.
they also make a comment about men and women being that close together, right? Like, oh no, they're talking to each other and they're not fighting or anything like that. So it's like the whole interaction seemed to be extremely weird for them. They just didn't have a concept for it.
Well, no, that what you're talking about is the when oh god, what is her name? Old lady Misa. When Misa and Hikaru are talking together in front of the Gold, and he's like, "This always happens when men and women are together." That's like his reasoning for why men and women aren't together on Centrati ships. Versus the three guys that are watching Miss Macross and feeling weird about it, because they're like, I think I said it during that reaction. It's like they're having puberty for the first time. I don't know.
Yeah.
My heart was going like when you win a fight. No, more like shock. It's like, dude, this is weird.
They also comment that her bikini, I think it was Lima May's bikini or someone, all contestant, might have been some kind of battle armor as well.
Yeah. As I said, it's very funny to think that they think this transmission's a new weapon or something. All right. In hindsight, it's a bit funny that the Centrati chased them down for 8 months before sending a transmission demanding their surrender. You'd think that if they wanted information on the SDF Macross, then they got most of it in the first few encounters, and the rest could have come just from capturing the ship. From a military that's thrown wave after wave of its own scout ships to be destroyed, they've been overly cautious about just making their demands.
I think, but also the leader actually mentions that there's a prohibition about making contact directly with the proto culture, sort of such it is, because that's what he calls it when they finally have them. So yeah,
I mean,
it
you
might be
call
that.
it back to, I think, last episode when he says, well, no, because they don't know what protoculture is until Golg tells them. Because
Yeah,
Golg says, if you repeat this to anyone, you will be killed. And then tells
yeah,
them, in your recap, by the way, that's something I meant to bring back up. You said that they had no culture. And Golg says, referencing the protoculture, that that was our culture. So he references them having culture before. Weirdly, he calls it protoculture and then refers to it just as culture that they had, our culture.
yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we know protoculture and culture are two different things, but the idea that he calls the protoculture the culture that they had before, I don't know. But I mean, also the fact that I forgot where I was going anymore with that one. I only have one comment left. I think, or not comment, thought. I think it must be stranger for a Zentradi to fight a Valkyrie than it is for a Valkyrie to fight a Zentradi. From our side, it's just fighting a giant human. It's easy to imagine what they could do. To be a Zentradi fighting a Valkyrie, though, here's this robot with rocket legs that can transform into 3 different shapes. It has multiple weapons built into it. It's like trying to. It's like if you were fighting a human-sized transformer, and it kept fucking transforming every time you went to grapple with it. No comment about that. Okay, it was just funny
I
for me
mean,
to think about because I'm.
yeah, but I don't think they actually make a note of it, right? They don't like, oh, this is just war machines. This is just another thing where we had to destroy. So they don't. Apparently, they don't. They never make a comment like, oh, it transforms. Like the humans are the ones like, oh, wow, it transforms. To try to like, who cares? It's just gonna blow them
I
up.
don't know. Just watching it happen in that episode where my boy here is taking on like 3 Valkyries at once. It's thinking, man, if I was in this situation, like imagine we're playing tabletop, right? And you're trying to describe to me what the fuck the Valkyrie is doing in the middle of a fight. And I'm like, versus me taking on, say, a giant in D&D, right? I can imagine what a giant's fucking doing. You know, it's stomping at you, it's picking something heavy up and it's throwing at you. It's just a fucking giant. Versus me fighting a Valkyrie that's my size. All right, well, its arms are folding in, and it's now half jet, half person. Like, why would it do that? If it's easier just to be a jet or a person. What?
Yeah,
Okay, well, now it's firing rockets out of its hips. Didn't it have guns on its head? Yeah, it has those too. It's so much weirder fighting a Valkyrie that's your size than it is fighting a thing that's just like you but bigger. It is
yeah,
so mind-bogglingly weird for me. But I guess Genius is taking care of that by just dressing up as a person. Because
yeah.
now what's another thing that a Valkyrie can do is it camouflage as a person.
As long as it's the right size, I suppose.
Well, I guess technically. Oh no, never mind. I was thinking about a jetliner or something. Max is standing in a Zentradi bathroom staring at a toilet for a good minute. And I'm thinking, well, I guess if these jets also have exhaust, right? it's like no, I'm thinking about a jetliner when it has to eject, the refuse. Because you hear sometimes of like someone's car getting struck by what people think is a meteorite, and it's literally just frozen shit from a jetliner.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining the jet sitting down on the toilet and ejecting a frozen turd into the Zentradi toilet. Look, you put yourself in
Yeah.
the world and you start thinking these weird thoughts about what would happen.
I mean, sure. Let's go with that.
Well, you know, the dude's dressed up like a Zentradi. Eventually, we go into a toilet and some other Zentradi's be knock, knock, knock. You all right in there, man? And he's got to simulate something, right? So it's just like, poof. The
I mean,
jet
you just
fighter.
flush it. You flush the toilet, basically.
I don't know. Some people are weird.
Yeah.
You're flushing, man, but I didn't hear you do anything. Anyway, those have been my thoughts. Do you have anything else that you want to cover from the previous
No,
episode?
that was fine. Yeah. That's gonna be an image that's gonna stick in my mind for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I say we go ahead and get into it. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. Volume turned way far up. At least, Macross doesn't have the problem that, say, Full Metal Alchemist does, where the volume of the opening is not the volume of the episode.
That can be annoying. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if there's any crossover viewers here. Hopefully there is, because this channel is watching both shows. But with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the opening song is very quiet. You have to turn everything up to hear it. And then when the show starts playing, it's twice the volume.
Ooh. I thought it would be different. It would be the opposite. You know, you want to have that loud music and beginning to catch people on, and then ease
you
them
know what?
into
Maybe
the
you're right.
episode.
Maybe I've got it backwards. But the point is that by the time the show starts playing, it's very loud. If you've messed with your volume at all to hear the opening of the show. This is also a conversation I had with Justin watching Full Metal Alchemist, talking about Macross, or specifically the era of show Macross comes in. Because I think Saint Seiya is also an 80s show, late 80s anime. And Saint Seiya apparently also always starts with the opening song. So I think of a certain generation of show, the opening is just there from the outset. And we don't do any, cliffhanger opening things.
Yeah.
I mean, also pointedly, the Valkyrie does shut that your... God, I keep forgetting what to call them. Iron Balls can't.
Oh, battle pods.
Yeah, the battle pods don't, jump backwards in midair with rocket thruster feet. If you were hand-to-hand fighting one of your battle pods, it'd be a completely different experience. Yeah, I believe Genius is just outside the door. Because he was watching the two guys cart these people. Something else I thought was funny is that their miniature recording camera is bigger than even a disposable camera from 10, 20 years ago. And obviously that Kiss is going to come back in recorded form to bite Hikaru in the ass, I assume.
そんないい加減な作戦のためにあなたともう一度キスなんかできますか何言ってんだよ他にいい手でもあるのかよこっから逃げ出すためじゃなきゃ誰があんたなんかとまあまあ隊長も注意も抑えて抑えてはいせ注意ここは一つ一条隊長になり変わりましたこの私がアホか
I think last time she didn't want to kiss him.
Yeah. No, he didn't want to kiss her. Now he's the one offering.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the other way around.
No, she's the one who ordered him to kiss him.
Yeah, because she wanted to kiss him and not the other guy.
Oh, yeah, true.
お言葉ですが、プロトカルチャーとの接触は我々を滅ぼすことになるやもしれません。どうする？これはもう一度この目でマイクロン
Shipboard repair technology, obviously. To the previous thing that Genius said, don't they have any good techs?
耐えられる者がいるでしょうか。
それが問題だが、その役目、私どもにお任せください。お前たちも。はい。
さっきの話、やっぱり試してみようかな。
無理しなくてもいいですよ。
このビデオには地球の歴史を変えるぐらいの価値があるのよ。これを持ち帰
I have to wonder if there is actually a age difference between them.
I think that is. She's about 24, 25, and he's like 17, 18 or 19.
あなただって軍人でしょ。やるの？
So not major one.
言い出したのは僕ですけどね。早いな、予定より。
It's just her nickname of old lady.
ドアのところへ。
了解。
I mean, it's like the idea she's an old lady is because she hasn't married yet.
So a spinster.
Yeah, basically.
今よ。
Literally the person that wouldn't be fooled by anything.
マックスです。マックス。
無事だったのね。
どうしたんだその
Max,
格好。
Oh man.
何やってんですか。
Max has been making so many comments about Min-Mei.
ここから脱出を。
了解。
He's obviously got something planned with Min-Mei, so obviously he's gonna use this against Hikaru.
Oh.
柿崎君。君はこっち。
なんだ。
邪魔しちゃ悪いだろ。
See?
人で大丈夫でしょうか。
一度でも敵艦内の様子を垣間見たものであれば、この役目適任であろう。
もっともですな。奴らの行動は理解しかねることばかりで。
This is why I think the little dude is part of a different race.
意外だな。隊長の恋人はてっきりあの子だと思ってたのに、年上趣味があったなんて。
冗談じゃない。
そうよ。これは逃げ出す作戦。
大丈夫。このことはマクロスに帰って。
I think he will.
違う。
I think he's going to.
大声出すと見つかりますよ。さあ、行きます。
I mean, he basically seemed like a villain when they told him he was a genius. Me? A genius? Guess I am. Yeah, they don't have the translation circuits anymore.
揺れますけど辛抱してください。
わかった。
Imagine the dude in front of you doing that all of a sudden.
Yeah.
どうした？
There's that short animation. Oh. Does that imply he jetted right at the wall?
Yeah.
マイクロめ何をしてかせやが。
全くです。
何が何でも奴らを捕まえろ。ほっ。
I was going to say there's that joke animation of the girl who seems to be stripping, and the moment she goes to take off her bra, she turns into a mech and starts transforming. That's what this reminds me of. Why did you make him do that? Your hand is right
Because
there.
わかった。どうします。
He's standing on the hand. The hand could have done it.
マックス。
No, because it's damage. The ship is about to explode, basically. Taking a lot of damage.
That is overkill. It'd be like if you dived headfirst at a bunch of mice. Mice that you could be 100% sure would attack you back.
マックス君たち無事かしら。
さあね。うわあ。これは。
巨人が。
I don't know if I'm zoomed in on there. I know their bodies in there, I just don't know what the zoom in was for. Oh, well.
Yeah. That solves that question.
Well, no, I mean, it solves something else. Remember they said They're just like our me clones.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that's
okay.
their my clones then.
奴らはまだ捕まらんのか。
はあ、申し訳ござい
Oh,
ま
isn't
せん。
that poignant, huh?
何分相手が小さすぎて。
ブリタイ
We just commented last recording about how Macross is full of robots that do everything.
しばしの間
Like the one that was picking up trash.
はあ、
それではスパイの潜入作戦は
潜入作戦はラプラミズの隊にでも当たらせよ。
直営艦隊のラプラミズ。
そうだ。この作戦それだけの重要性があるのだ。
But now we see that they have to clean up the trash by themselves.
Yeah, no robots.
あ
Haven't seen one yet. Let's get the battle bots as robots.
私思うんだけど、この巨人たちはもともとは私たちと同じサイズだったんじゃないかしら。そして観察軍という名の敵と戦うために自分たちの体を大きく強く改造していったのかも。
そんなことあるわけが。
いいえ、あり得るわ。だいたい真空中でも耐えられてバトロイドと生身で戦えるような人間が自然に生まれるわけないもの。
遺伝子改造でもしたのかな。
おそらくね。こうして巨人からマイクロンにする技術があるのなら反対に巨人を作れても不思議じゃないわ。
それはそうかもね。
そしても
It
しか
reminds
し
me
た
of
ら
the anti-spirals from
巨人たち
Gurren
と
Lagann.
いうプロトカルチャーって
Give up
彼
your
らがまだ
original
私た
form
ちと
to
同じ
fight
サイ
a,
ズだ
an
った頃
enemy.
の文明のことを言うんじゃないかしら。
うわ
For anyone who's ever played a D&D game and said, how the fuck did the giant sneak up on us?
Oh, there goes the camera. Oh, he didn't hesitate to kill him there.
Well, his eyes are closed too.
Yeah, right between the eyes.
So pointedly, he has no idea if he shot me or not either.
注意。
一条少尉、もうダメ。あなただけ
Well, thank God the giants don't have death grip, huh?
データがなくなっちゃったら私もう助かっても仕方がない。
しっかりしろよ。データがなくても俺たち自身が見たり聞いたりしたことがあるじゃないか。
だったらなおのことあなただけでも。
冗談じゃない。女を見捨てていけるかよ。そら。
Abandon a girl?
Well, I don't know how to take that. I guess he's equal parts chivalry, equal parts misogyny. So you remember that conversation
Basically.
from before.
Yeah.
And her weird defense of... You know, he says a woman should be cooking and cleaning. And her weird defense is, I can do that too. That's not the response.
Yeah.
気がついたよね。
早瀬注意。
Is this the... If you thought Minmay and Hikaru should be together because they survived a death-defying event, the Misa and Hikaru should be together
ひ
because...
どいもんね。ろくな整備もしてないみたい。
Hey, here's a leaky pipe. Maybe you should take a shower.
だったんだけどね。
溺れないで済んだってことは注意に借りを作っちゃいましたね。
戦友を見捨ててはいけないでしょ。
I'd feel I was joking less if you didn't so weirdly laugh at
こ
that.
れでおあいこ。貸し借りなしよ。
だけどおかしいですね。あれだけの大艦隊を持つ巨人たちが船の整備も満足にしてないなんて。
やりたくてもできないんじゃないかしら。
できない？
そうよ。彼らは自分たちの体を巨大化させて確かに軍人としては最高の体を手に入れたかもしれない。だけどその代わりに失ったものも多いんじゃないかしら。
失ったもの？
ええ。
What, brain
今の彼
cells?
らに民間人だとか男と女の関係が存在しないのがその証拠よ。
あまりにも強い体を持ったために。
Well, I mean, I guess if they turned everybody into giants, there was no one left to take care of infrastructure of everything else.
宇宙は戦いに満ち溢れ
I mean, but the infrastructure is giant size too, so
あれだけの大艦隊同士
why would turning them giants not allow them to keep infrastructure?
I don't know, maybe their tech is based on small shit.
Maybe.
It's just a bunch of small shit piled together. Now they've got nobody left.
失われたかつての文明、それがプロトカルチャーか。
That or all that's left are giants. You know, maybe their homeworlds all got destroyed. And now it's all just giant soldiers.
Maybe.
戦うことしか知らない人間なんてさ。
本当ね。まるで私みたい。
注意が？
私のうちね、100年も前から軍人の家系なの。私も中学の頃からずっと軍隊しか見てないわ。
In case you're wondering why I giggled at that, I was waiting for Lieutenant Dan to come out of her. A member of my family has died in every major war.
主席の注意は鬼より怖いってね。
だからね、私がちょっとでも男の人の話をしようものなら、クローディアにからかわれるわ。士官学校主席の早瀬注意がねって。あなた、好きな人がいるんでしょう。 マクロスに。ミス・マクロスさん。
なぜですか？
寝言で言ってたわよ。民名民名って。
そんな。
恋人なんでしょ？
I thought she was going to go after the fact that he kept changing channels on her when he was supposed to be defending the ship to watch the contest.
Yeah.
歌手になるって決まってからろくに会う暇もなくなっちゃって。
そう、歌手になるの。
ええ、もうデビューした頃かな。今頃マクロスみんなのアイドルですよ。
それでもいいじゃない。 好きな人がいるってことは何が何でもマクロスに帰りたいって思えるもんね。私なんか任務が恋人代わり。
Oh, and a dead guy on Mars.
Yeah.
早瀬注意だってマクロスに帰ればきっと。
よく言うわ。
嘘じゃないです。今ぐらい女らしくしてれば。
年上をからかうもんじゃないわよ。
Oh, wow.
すいません。
いいわ。
I mean, it doesn't matter. He pans up every woman.
Yeah, no. No, but it's like if you acted more like this, it's like what? Like a human being? But
Something that is so stupid that it bothers me is the fact they keep going on about we've probably missed Minmay's debut. Last episode, they said her debut was going to be next Sunday, which can be only anywhere between 7 days to 1 day. Next Sunday can be. And they've already covered, they've done time dilation of 10 days. You've missed it. It's not a probably. By no stretch of a next Sunday have you not missed it.
こっちだ。
You're wearing a glove, my dude.
yeah.
やったー。
それにしてもすごい艦隊ね。
Oh wow, so the inside of the asteroid fortress thing has an atmosphere.
なんとか戦争をやめないといけないわね。
それにはどうやってここから地球に戻れるか考えないと。
そうね。
隠れて。
I mean, conversely, you could plant a virus into their operating system.
I don't think any of them are.
あなたたちも。
They don't have the technology of computers.
They don't have a computer experts anyway.
そうみたいね。私たちの乗ってきた船から物資を運び込んでるってことは。
地球へマクロスへ帰れるかも。
そうとなれば早速。
There is such a massive Gundam overlap right now. Almost back to back with the episode that Char is reloading his ship. Is like back to back with the episode where Char tries to infiltrate and has a camera and is taking pictures of White Base and the Gundams and drops it and it breaks. And I miss almost conversely that he's on foot, like not in a Gundam, and being chased by a Gundam, which is kind of like the being chased by a giant if you think about it.
敵艦にスパイを繰り込むとは随分とまた消極的な作戦ですね。ユーナミリア。しかしラプラミス司令。
The fuck? These are women.
Yeah.
Were they just on different ships? Is that the thing?
Yep.
Well, I have to bet that I know now where that fetish comes from.
この後デフォルトしたとして
Also, the ships are a different color. They're not green, they're purple.
Of course. Can't be a manly color.
Oh, the uniforms are not different, though.
マクロスに帰れなくてもいいのかな。
はいはい。
さてと、スパイを敵艦に送り込む手段だが、その役目、私めにお任せを。お前一人とか。相手はたかがマイクロ。
God, if folding was real, I'd be sick. I would just get sick.
デフォルトするわよ。急いで。
分かってますよ。簡単に操縦できれば苦労なんか。
I guess they're not going back to where the Macross was.
I mean, they are, because they're gonna infiltrate the,
Well, it took him 10 days to fold before. We haven't been folding for 10 days. They're moving in real time. And also, those are men aboard a ship filled with women. And that is a sound effect from Gundam. See, I like these things more than battle pods. Still not a good design. I just like them more than battle pods. You don't know the language.
やっぱり鬼より怖いや。
何か言った？
ただの寝言ですよ。これだ。
I don't think these people know what sleep is either. You remember before when the other dude was talking about eating when he was asleep?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now this dude's mumbling to himself and sleeping. Misa was just wrong. That's all I could take from this. I think the women are just better than the men in this Atrati. I mean, they've got better. I mean, they've got better things than the men have pods. The women have fucking mobile suits. Also a Gundam sound.
注意、軍用周波数キャッチしました。
これで本当に助かるのね。
さあ、味方にやられる前に連絡を。
ええ、応答願います。こちらマクロスブリッジオペレーター早瀬美彩花4名、敵戦闘ポットを奪取し漂流中、救援願います。
Oh, they were quick. Oh, the juxtaposition there. I thought he was still small compared to everything else.
Yeah, well,
Where
yeah.
is he?
ヒカルたちの持ち帰った情報の重要性を認識したグローバル艦長は敵包囲網の突破を決意した。だがその時すでにマクロス艦内にはゼントラーディのスパイが潜入していた。次回超時空要塞マクロスブルーウィンド。
Well, all I gotta say is I hope that the Macross had a really in-depth monk population for them to sneak into. Preferably one with vows of silence, considering they don't know the language either.
Uh,
And my other big point is that Misa was just fucking wrong. Oh man, if I had to guess, the time difference between us due to this extended fold must have been 10 days. Then if you figure 10 days back as well, 20 days. Minmei's debut was next Sunday, which again can only be a difference of 1 to 7 days. So, 20 days versus 7 days. Misa is not good at her job. I say that sarcastically, but I've proven that time and time again. She didn't know one of the Valkyries was supposed to be unoccupied, even though, as we covered later in that same episode, she looks to her right and has a readout of every Valkyrie and its status.
mhm.
She's unaware of how dangerous space is to a pilot.
I mean,
She
I
has to
think
be
they tried to
told by Hikaru. And Roy has to
Yeah.
back up that Hikaru is right, but went overboard on telling her.
yeah.
She's top of
think
her
so.
class, by the way.
I mean, I think her knowledge is more theoretical than realistic. I mean, she's not in the front line, so it's like, oh yeah, I read about all this, but I haven't experienced it.
Technically, she is on the front lines. For her job as a bridge crew officer, she is on the front lines of a ship that she's on the bridge of.
But I think the way she sees that she's not actually engaging in the enemy, right? She's just there, and action is happening over there, right?
Sorry, just
She's still
putting
within firing range because they can easily blast her bits if they wanted to.
it all together in my head just made it really funny. It's all. She's top of her class, consistently wrong about everything, and bad at her job. Which then put that together with the loss of skilled personnel from the Unification Wars means that she is not sure for mediocrity. She is the smartest person on the ship, and she is bad. She's like the male Zentradi in the Zentradi fleet, I guess. Because we've seen the women, and goddamn, they are effective.
Well,
Well, look, they don't fly in with what seems to be really scaled down mech warriors, right? The two-legged, two-armed shooty things. They have suits with arms. And apparently 360 laser fire systems that just took out a whole wave of Valkyries in one go.
yeah.
And then they dodged all the fire, punched a hole, dropped the infiltration team, and had the wherewithal to seal the hole again, which, according to Max, is something the men can't do.
I mean, she didn't fix it. She just sort of put it back and flew away. You know?
Yeah, but if you talk to Max will point out that he flew out of a hole and then flew back into it because nobody had fixed it.
Yeah, that's true.
So the men don't have the wherewithal to try and fix a hole in their ship. I guess they just seal off a section of the ship. The women know how space works enough that punch a hole, put the thing in, fold it back over. Maybe that'll do it. Also implies that the women could try to fix stuff.
It's very interesting because it's called, she's part of the defense army.
Defense
not
fleet.
The defense fleet, which is interesting. Are all the women members of the defense fleet? That's their job. They defend. Everyone else attacks.
Well, consider, if you will, the amount of misogyny that happens in this show.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be above some Zentradi coming along telling us that a woman's place is at home. And where's the defense fleet stay? At home. So, I mean, I don't know. There is a real level of misogyny in 80s anime.
Oh yeah.
You haven't been present for it, but in Gundam, there's literally the back and forth between Amuro, the main character, saying, maybe I should ask Sayla how to do this fight. And him then going on later, I can't ask Sayla, she's a woman. Or, Sayla fucking up piloting the Gundam because she's a woman.
Mm.
It's a
But the
lot of it.
captain of the white base is a woman.
Nope. That's Bright Noah. That's a guy who's literally Sayla's same age. He
Oh,
takes.
I'm thinking about another ship that was
You're
that was
thinking
like the
of
white base.
you're
Yeah.
thinking of Archangel from Gundam Seed, which is piloted by
Yeah.
2 women. Well, technically
Yeah.
it's piloted by 1 woman, but literally Nattery Bad Girl is second in command, and I never get over the name. She's Bad Girl. I keep expecting that she's going to be turned into a villain. So,
Yeah.
but 17 episodes in and now no co-host. I don't know where I'm going with that show anymore. Gonna have to watch it with somebody. It's literally the best performing show on the entire goddamn channel. So even though it turns out to be solo, I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Sorry, took a hard Gundam turn there, but again, the fact that we have this whole infiltration thing. This isn't an infiltration thing. They get captured, but they're trying to gather information during it. Has a direct parallel to Char Aznable infiltrating another place and, having to fight a giant after his camera gets destroyed. Very much a hard, similar thing there. And I'm never going to get over the amount of Gundam communication noises we hear. It is. Look, I first knew it from Gundam Wing as the Wing Zero firing noise, but it does. That sound literally appears in 1979 Gundam as a communication noise between McQueeve, who is the commander in charge of Europe for the Zeon forces. It is his alert noise in Gundam. And it's a communication noise in Macross. So I can't believe that Harmony Gold is the only one ripping off other anime in the space now. Now I'm hearing that noise in Macross.
They might be using the same sound library.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know what sound libraries and the rights there are, so.
Yeah, it could be they use the same sound library.
All right. Well, I think that's been all of my thoughts. What about you? Any actual serious thoughts other than the character fuck ups?
I mean, this episode was moved very quickly. There was a lot of action, which I liked. Stuff was happening constantly, right? I liked. Okay, it gets into the romance thing a little too much, which to me is like, whatever. Yeah, sure. And they were doing the kind of thing where they fell into the water, same space, dark space that they did with Min-Mei. Although it turns out that Hikaru never kissed Min-Mei, but he keeps kissing Misa for some reason, other than, they're trying to escape, but still,
Twice, though. It's 2 times as many
twice.
times as Min-Mei, and there's proof. Well, there's no longer proof, not the camera, but, Genius saw it. And though he claims he's not going to tell, Genius has both commented on how foxy Min-Mei is, has spent time at the diner. The diner, I keep calling it everything but a restaurant. He has spent time at the restaurant, and he seems like somebody who is scheming. Genius seems like a schemer.
Like a genius. Like an evil genius.
I think he's going to use it against him. The only thing that would make me think not is if you look. I don't know. Are you freeze framed on the last part of the episode?
Nope.
Oh, my VLC player freeze frames on the last thing, so that's always what's below us in the overlay, which is the last frame of the outro, which has Min-Mei, like cozied up, holding the arm of a red-headed guy. Hikaru don't have red hair.
Nope.
Genius don't have red hair. I don't think anybody has red hair that we've met so far.
I think one of the bridge bunnies has
Okay,
brown
this
hair.
is clearly a dude, though. And he's in a pilot's outfit. If I had to guess, I'd also say he has a green cravat around his neck. So
No,
it
is Hikaru.
It can't be Hikaru.
Yeah, it
That
is.
is
It's
clearly
a
red
picture,
hair.
Yeah, no, but that picture is the picture they took in front of the fountain.
Do you not remember what I said about
About
Min-Mei?
the no, but that is Hikaru.
That
That
could
is
be
Hikaru.
any of the pilots. Min-Mei dragged them all out. She had to deal with the robot or whoever controls the robot. I told you before, I would be surprised that when Hikaru threw his medal up at her, she didn't turn around and fall over due to all how many medals were pinned to her chest.
Or she pawned them.
Everybody gave her a medal.
She has a medal stand where she has all of.
Like I said, she's like a Russian general when it comes to medals.
Oh.
She can't walk down the hallway without setting off a metal detector. So, but yeah, Hikaru don't have red hair. Anyone looking at the overlay sees Hikaru underneath you with clearly brown hair.
I know, but that's Hikaru.
That's not Hikaru.
It is.
If Min-Mei, look, the only way I'm going to accept this is that at the end of this series, Min-Mei is with Hikaru. If that's not the case, then that ain't Hikaru.
Okay. Fine.
Wow.
Anyway.
Because otherwise that water wouldn't be blue. If they're just changing the colors of stuff. Any other thoughts?
Nope. Not at the moment.
All right, well, this has been episode 12 of SDF Macross. I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. We will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?